Welcome back, Noble Heroes. We return to our characters. Isaac has just revivified from his own death. And Juniper, Bali, and Euphemia are dealing with Satan's guilt, stolen from Satan himself. The new fated item is in Euphemia's bag on her belt. And we will begin in the infirmary with Isaac. Isaac, you awaken. Master Isaac, Prongor says over you. His face is dirty, bloodstained. He seems a great mess and looks a little ill.
Isaac, he's laying there, his eyes shut, as probably the last of his internals are meshing back together, and then his eyes snap open and he goes, and then he's going to reach for his staff, if it's anywhere, while also scrambling up to his feet, because when he last died, we were all fighting, and now he's awake again.
Your staff was on the floor, but it jumps upwards to land in your hand grasp.
He's going to scan what probably to him looks like a very, he said it's a very juvenile-looking school nursery. And he's going to look to Prongor and say...
I would say it doesn't look like for kids, but, it's not like a full-on medical facility.
Yeah. He looks to Prongor and he goes...
Oh, Master Isaac, Prongor says as he, leans down and places his arms around you in a loving embrace.
Am I dreaming?
He goes...
Am I still dead?
It took so long this time, Master. It's been much longer than last time. Almost 4 hours longer.
He was right. Shit.
Who was right, Master?
You were right. What I did back there was so stupid.
He says... he looks like he wants to speak, but his words don't come out.
Isaac's going to put his hand on his shoulder and say, it's all right. How did we make it out of that?
Well, that is a complicated question, Master. I'm not sure how everybody else made it out.
Oh yeah, he came back separate. Forgot.
I believe the godmother used some of her powers to vanish everybody away, but she did not take me.
You were too far away, I presume.
I do not know. Perhaps that is the case. He says as though he hadn't thought of that at all and just assumed that she'd absolutely left him behind.
Oh, that's why he was so pissed at her. I was curious.
That's good. It means you listened to me. It meant you were safe. We would have come back to get you. Oh, I guess somebody did.
Yes. He says, looking a little ill. I was in the Doom Ridge one moment, and then I thought I felt many hands grab onto me. And then the next moment I was not there at all. Instead, I saw a blue whirl. It was as though I was passing through a tunnel made of light, Master. And then, before I knew what was happening, I was being dropped off next to everybody else. Here in this, it seems to be some sort of school for wizard people.
School for wizard people?
Yes, I believe it is the godmother's people.
What city are we in?
We are in Girin, Master.
All the way in Girin. I see.
They tried to declare you dead, Master, and I told them that you were going to get back up, and they didn't believe me.
Hey.
I'm so glad that you got back up, he says, and he begins to sort of sob on you.
I am too. Prongor,
And I'm so glad to hear you say that you've given second thoughts to your reckless movements back in the Doom Ridge.
I'm sorry for what I did to you. Is your face all right?
It's nothing, Master. It's less than nothing, actually, he says. Master, you must be, well, Are you feeling some sort of way?
We've been trying so hard to fit in with this new crowd. I'm feeling as if I may have started to lose sight of what's important. And I think that's led to me acting slightly foolish, as you put it.
I agree, Master Isaac.
I think this brief respite in Garen is going to be a good chance for us to maybe correct our course a little bit.
He says, perhaps, Master, we might start by finding Saul.
Is he in the city?
His letter. I read it while you were out. Once again, it was quite bloodstained now. But yes, he has come here with his wife. He sent that note almost 4 weeks ago. It is very likely that he has made it to the city by now.
All right. We'll speak with him. And I'd like to make a visit to the library. There's some things I need to research.
Prongors seems startled by your sudden change and seems happy about it. He's going to smile broadly at you and say, "Ooh!" He's going to kind of shake your shoulders a little bit. I feel alive, Master. We survived Satan, he says.
Not only that, Prongor, and then Isaac's going to take his shoulders and say, you jumped out in front of me and yelled at Satan in the face.
He says,
and lived.
Well, it was quite bold of me, wasn't it, Master?
I don't think there's anything you can back down from now.
He says,
Oh my God.
I would like, if we are able to, beyond your own visitings to the library, I feel as though I can do more on the field of battle, Master, with that shield.
We would have access to a forge here in Garen, wouldn't we?
Yes. I do not know where anybody else is, Master. Roland left. I think he is gone from the school, but I believe everybody else is here in the dormitory area.
I see.
It is barely morning, Master.
We'll give it some time, and then I'll at least say hello to everyone to let them know I'm okay before we head out. Would you...
You're going to hear footsteps echo through the infirmary, and you're going to hear little gasps come from students that you couldn't see until now, although Prongor was speaking quietly enough to where they couldn't easily overhear you. You're going to see Zarfan walk into the room, his wings spread. Oh, I'm sorry. No.
I was about to say, he's indoors. That's a lot.
No.
He's also,
yeah, he doesn't have his
wings right now.
Right.
Poor guy.
You're going to see Zarfan enter. And he's going to have a very quiet conversation in the back. It's the Angel Master, Prongor says. Zarfan is going to approach. It seems you're awake. We were getting worried.
After a bit too long. It was rough. Zarfan, tell me, is there anyone who did not make it out all right?
Everybody made it, he says.
What a miracle.
Indeed. He's going to look down at his wrist.
Real quick, I want to say that when Isaac got up, he has a new... So Isaac's face has always been kind of puzzle piecey looking because he has scars. They're well healed, but they're just like latticed all over his face. And so now he has a much fresher looking scar going kind of from his temple, like down the center of his face and then down to his chest, from where Satan just like eviscerated him. So have any of the characters like reacted to that so far?
Prongor has not.
Okay.
But Zarfan is going to look down at his wrist sort of like curiously and then look back up. Yeah, everybody made it, he says. You, looks like it might have had some trouble stitching you all the way back together.
Is there a mirror nearby? Isaac will start looking for one.
He's going to prestidigitation, hand mirror into existence and give it to you.
Can you do that with prestidigitation?
Yes, you can.
I can do everything
Last
with
for
it.
a minute.
That's crazy. Okay.
He's going to make a little light shine out of his hand so you can see.
He is the most polite character I think I've ever met. Isaac's going to be...
I think he gives you a rustic appearance, he says.
Taken aback just a little bit and then kind of trace it with his fingers. Oh, by the pits. I don't remember anything. What did he do to me? I just remember him landing in front of me, and now I'm here.
Prongor is going to sort of look down like he doesn't want to say it. Zarafan says, he went through you.
Okay. I don't want to know any more than that. And you'll hand the mirror back to him.
It'll disappear.
You're going to feel vibrations coming from the staff. Vibrations of displeasure at being so close to Zarafan. Well, I'll go tell the others that you're awake. Are you hungry?
I'm all right. I think in a moment here, me and Prongor are going to go run some errands in the city.
You that okay? He says.
I think so. We'll see once I start walking.
Man, we really need to conduct a study of that engine, he says, as he's going to turn around and head out of the ward. Meanwhile, what have you guys done in the time until morning? Did you try to get some more Z's, or...
What time was it after the whole...
It was like twilight.
Well, I think Euphemia would have wanted to wait to have like a large group conversation until Isaac was all right. So she probably would plan to
Get some shut-eye.
get as best of shut-eye as she could.
Okay. Then do you guys take a long rest?
Seems like a good idea.
Well, actually, I can...
You guys are at 6 chaos right now.
I don't need to, because
and you will gain another
everything
chaos
got
tomorrow.
taken
for 5
away
days.
when I went back in time. So...
I'm trying to remember what state I was in. I think I was returned to close to full health.
You were? Did you take any damage after that happened?
I don't think so. I guess technically Yuffie's okay.
Isaac, I believe you regenerate with half your total hit points from death.
Like I'm currently at half.
Yeah, you come back with half your total HP.
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay.
So that minus whatever spell slots you lost.
Okay.
June will spend this time catching up on the affairs of the Zaratan and with the godmothers as well. Since you said you wanted to go to sleep, she is going to go do that.
All right. Come the first light of morning, you receive a letter. What guise are you in? Are you in a guise or are you just Juniper?
She's Juniper right now.
Okay. Then the note will actually make it to you. It is from the Kings of Garen, and it politely, cordially asks for a debrief of your current status. It has 3 time slots today. One at like mid-morning, one like right after lunch, and the other one like later at night, like 7.
She is going to send a school messenger, not like an actual messenger, to find her and the rest of the group to let them know about those slots and to give her their bet to have them tell her which one they would prefer. And then have you already gone or have you come back to life yet or at this point?
Not at this point.
Okay, so she'll leave you out of that right now.
You wouldn't have been told, at least. He is awake, but you don't know.
Okay. Well, it usually only takes 8 hours, so she would probably send a messenger to the infirmary to where Prongor is, if at least to talk to him, to say if he's awake or not.
You receive back a negative that he is not awake at that point at 8 hours.
No, I meant when this is all going on.
Oh, okay. Then yes, he is awake.
Okay. Is he still there?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then you will get a message saying they are looking for a briefing. Here's the time slots. Let me know which one is best. How are you?
How does the message get to me?
It's written down in a little note, and it's taken to you by one of the school messengers, so probably a kid.
Okay. I'm assuming the time slot doesn't matter that much. So Isaac will like pick one, and he'll say, you know, I'm feeling better now. Thanks for asking. You know, hand it back to the person.
Okay. So
Euphemia will just write back, don't care.
okay, so she'll just pick the best slot for when everybody agrees.
Okay.
She's trying to be diplomatic here.
Johnny is going to say, I was going to go to the market in the morning, though. They have the best deals.
Will she say that while we still have the...
If you ask. Would you ask Johnny?
I did include them in
then
the group.
So were they
like
also
later
sent
in
a...
the day,
Okay.
like 10 minutes after you sent the note, you're like telling them that you have whatever time she chooses. What time do you choose?
What were the times again? I'm sorry.
Mid-morning, right after lunch, and like 7 p.m.
Probably right after lunch so that everybody can, eat and
Okay.
regain their wits.
You don't want to go to the market? Kieran's markets are famous for having great deals in the morning.
What kind of deals?
And I need like some ointments or something.
For?
We just got the shit kicked out of us, Captain. What do you think?
Didn't they get restored to their previous state?
Not them.
Yeah, they
I
did.
was able to do that to like 2 people.
Was it?
Yeah, it's just a couple people.
I think.
And then you got us out.
And then
Yuffie
and
only
then we had to
restored Bali and Hero and
You and
Roland
me.
and me and you.
Okay.
I think.
But not
Plus,
Sorry, you were far.
You were too far, dude.
I swear, she would have.
she
I swear.
says, I need new boots. I mean, the Doomerage just destroyed my boots.
You need armor. I'm not there.
She looks down. I could use some new armor.
Hey, unless you think the Kings will give me some new boots.
I mean, I think it wouldn't hurt to ask for some assistance.
Yeah, you should ask for some assistance, Captain.
You want me to get you a good deal?
Or just free. That would be best.
I mean, free is the best deal.
Right.
I'll ask.
Have I heard about Roland yet?
Do you ask?
Yes.
He left the building this morning.
Wait, no, I knew he was leaving the building.
Or he left the building last night saying he was going home.
She's going to send a messenger to Roland, not knowing that he's not there, so...
So like an actual messenger?
Yes.
Okay. The messenger will... You receive a note back, scrawled in chicken scratch handwriting. Hey, yo, I went to the Doomridge with Harper. Be back later. I'm saving Leslie.
This is definitely Roland. Thank you, she says to the messenger.
P.S. I thought my family would tell you.
She would continue.
Okay, got it.
I love his whole family. They're all great.
I know. I can't wait to meet them.
You and Prongor. June, you said you wanted to meet up and have like or at least one of you said that you wanted to have like a big group meeting.
Actually, I think that would be a good idea. She would include in the notes that we should probably meet up before this to have a talk about what happened. Yeah.
Okay. Do you agree to that?
Yeah.
Okay. Then
what's the thing you scheduled? Are we?
That's the meeting with the Kings.
Okay.
But this was also a meeting to talk to each of us in person.
Yeah.
And discuss how much we tell them.
Yes, that as well.
Yep.
all right.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
So, Juniper, you get to the meeting room first since you set the meeting. And you are going to hear... Greetings, Godmother.
Posix?
I would like to speak to you and Isaac about the events.
Well, he's due to arrive here any minute.
Isaac, you open the door.
Okay.
Excellent timing, Isaac. Is Pronger with him?
Yes.
She looks at Posix if that's okay.
I would like a meeting with merely you and Juniper, as you were the original ones I bargained with.
Fair enough. Prongor, if you'd like to wait outside the door, this should only be a minute.
Yes, Master. Prongor says. As you are going to see Posix attempt a smile.
That's creepy as hell. Okay, she didn't say that, though.
He has flat little, like, it's like if a rat had human teeth.
Oh, I don't like it.
I like it.
It looks like he's grimacing in pain. But he seems pleased. He is going to come forward.
Expression on.
He says, this document. He lays out a very official scroll. Is for legal ownership of the creature walks no roads. It is an adoption form. There are 2 signatures required for parents, he says.
I'm sorry.
Please understand, this is a legally binding contract formed in the early days of Walks' life. It was signed originally by his own parents.
How old is Walks?
Walks is 12.
He said 12?
Yes.
Okay. Out of game, what
In
is the
his-
life expectancy of a...
He will say, in his species, he is likely somewhere around 20. As you can see, his parents legally signed him over to the messengers when he was extremely young. I was his legal guardian till now, but I relinquished that right to you.
Does his connection to the messengers affect his life expectancy?
Not if he does not use his powers excessively. Whatever remains of them.
Are you not sad to see him go?
The corporation adopted him. I am merely the representative of that corporation.
All right.
Walks No Roads was an employee.
June does this, and the scroll lifts up, unrolls, and she's reading it.
It is an old style, like Age of Magic style legal document. It would still be accepted this day and age. It looks very official with like really fancy scrawl upon it. And at the bottom, you see everything legally functions correctly. That there are 2 signatories, both would be parents. You don't have to have 2, but there can be 2.
Of all
June
the
will
things
sign.
I saw happening on this prophecy, I didn't think I'd be adopting a child.
She signs, and then she turns it to you. Allows you to read it.
Has
of course.
Isaac ever seen a legal document from that time period before?
Your house deed is made in a legal document like this.
Okay.
A lot of your family's documents are done in this old style. It's much more beautiful than the modern sort of shorthand style that they do legal documentation in.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of tiefling stuff is done like this.
Okay, Isaac signs it.
Please understand, the corporation, the messengers, he says, have provided up until now Walks' livelihood. It is expected that you shall do so from now on. He says it merely as a formality, and then is going to pause for a moment before he says, I would be interested in exchange of information.
Such as?
I will be willing to reveal select information about the messengers. In turn, for a commitment from Godmother leadership. We wish for aid in recruiting new messengers, and for help in retrieving trapped and lost messengers in the future.
This is like mind-blowing, like revolutionary thing right now going
Yeah, that's
on.
big.
June is controlling her expression. She goes, I would like to set down all the details, of course, but I'm sure we can work that out.
The deal must be made through you.
Acceptable. I would have to confer with the council.
Very well. In the spirit of this agreement, I would like to make a change in our arrangement. As I will be foreseeing all of the details of this alliance, I would like to step away as your messenger and place into you a trusted member of my society who will take care of your messages in the meantime.
All messengers are trusted. Continue.
In exchange for my coin, I would give you another.
June holds her hand up and it...
Give me the coin deposits, whoever has it.
I don't
I
think.
think I do.
Oh.
I do.
Oh.
Know that this
Maybe.
messenger
It wants to come out.
volunteered for this position and is excited about it.
That's weird, but she's okay with it.
He is going to hand you a coin. It has on it the head of a,
Oh.
head of a bunny
One of my
with a
favorite
unicorn horn.
critters.
I love it!
Oh, there's so much.
This is the cutest thing ever!
Yeah.
It's gonna be our friend.
Does it have sharp, pointy teeth?
I hope so.
The first campaign I ever ran, I gave my party like one of those guys as like a little pet at the beginning.
I had a pet one that was like that, but it was a squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's a bunny and it's so amazing. Okay, I'm good. Sorry. She's fine. That was purely Sarah's excitement. It was good.
What's the coin look like?
Yes.
The new
It is a
one.
golden coin like Pozix was with her head on it.
Okay.
With a bunny head?
It's a little bunny with a unicorn horn, yeah.
Sorry. Sarah can't control her happy expression. Okay.
She wished to make introductions as soon as available.
She will activate the coin.
You will hear a lighter noise than Pozix. And you will see scampering into the room so she is almost exactly the size of a rabbit. She's about maybe a foot and a half long.
Oh my god, I love her already.
She has a large unicorn horn, and as soon as she enters the room, she's going to get up and trundle on her two bipedal legs into the room, and she sort of has her little floppy hands sort of clapping together, and she says, oh yes, I am Kajarat."
Greetings, Kajrad.
She
A
says,
pleasure to meet you.
"You are Godmother Juniper.
Yes, I am. And this is Isaac.
I hope our alliance can be very beneficial. I wish to befriend."
Oh my gosh, she's so cute!
I know.
I don't know what to do with myself.
I know.
Okay.
Seriously. Can we get a stuffed animal of her?
Oh, please, yes. It would be the best thing
Oh
ever.
my gosh, please.
I think there may be some already.
I need it in my life. I could just sit right here. Anyway, okay, where was I?
Pozix
Yes,
is
she
going
wants
to
be our friend.
look over towards her, and she's going to straighten up and give a little tiny salute with her paw, and then say, "I am here to take message as quickly as possible, wherever you wish."
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yes.
She looks at you to see if you want to add anything.
Isaac gives a slight bow and says it's a pleasure.
"Oh yes, very much pleasure. You are Isaac, yes?"
I am.
She says, "And your race is Tiefling," she says as though she just learned it.
You're very smart.
She says, "My race, Amilraj."
I couldn't remember what it was called. Has Isaac
Pronounced
ever
Amiraj.
has Isaac ever seen one of these before?
You have not.
Okay.
June, you have heard of the Amiraj. They are basically like the turtle. They live out on an island, sort of like Walks' race. Separated from the rest of sentient creatures, basically, for a really long time.
Isaac has the impression that Kajirant really wants to like deliver a message for us. She just wants to do something. So he's going to like jot down a note to Roland of like, hey, be careful out there, and fold it up and hand it to her and say, take this to Roland. It's very important.
So, like, she gives a little clap and a tiny hop on her back legs, and then is going to walk up, take the message from you, and it's like a little scroll, but she, like, gathers it around with her arms.
And the message also says, like, hey, Roland, this is our new messenger. Introduce yourself.
Okay. She says, yes, I take this to Roland.
And he's in the Doom Ridge.
How do you know that?
Oh, wait, no, I don't know that. You're right. So
I was going to tell you guys
Roland's
this.
like in the building with us. So yeah, you're right. I'm like, take this to Roland. It's very important.
You do know that he's out in the city, though. So there you go. Okay, it's fine.
All right. She goes, oh my, she is very famous. He says, and you are a great hero as well.
I'm getting there.
It is the necklace, Pazik says. She goes,
oh, yeah.
huh? I do not understand. Deliver the message, Pazik says. Yes, immediately, she says. She's going to give a tiny hop and then...
Yes, June's hand is here right now.
I forgot I had that on.
She seems very enthusiastic. I'm sure she'll do an excellent job.
Yes,
Please write up the terms you were looking for, and we will counter offer.
indeed. He is going to pull out a scroll and hand it to you.
I see you're already prepared.
I imagine you will need at least a day to look over the terms, but please have us back within 3.
Of course.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I will let you get on with your time. With that, he is going to leave. Do you give a glance to the things that he's offering?
Yes, actually, she'll open it up and quickly look at it and take it all in. And then she closes it and then does this number, and it disappears between her palms.
As your eyes blaze over the words, he is willing to share basic scientific data concerning their powers, up to what type of creatures can be messengers, what disrupts their powers, and their limitations on their powers.
Okay, and what does he want exactly in return?
He wants to use your global network to help find the proper individuals to become messengers. And whenever they have lost messengers or those who are trapped by something, he wants to be able to rely on the godmothers to put in the effort to help them get out. He wants a success rate of at least 40%.
June thinks 40% is unacceptable. Of course she would do higher than that, but she won't change it.
Isaac's like trying to look at the document. Do you let him see?
It literally takes her about 10 seconds to get the whole information, and then she disappears it.
Okay.
So you're going to see like the biological information stuff.
Okay.
The first paragraph.
Do you like, do you audibly chuckle or anything at that 40% part? Or do you keep that to yourself?
She just goes,
I always forget about how fast you can read. How did it look? Reasonable?
It looks reasonable, yes. I'm sure the council will put it through.
So, how do you feel about the other document we just signed?
Well,
did you ever see yourself having a kid? I guess I shouldn't assume. Maybe you do.
this isn't the first child I have adopted, no.
Well, it's one thing to adopt a child, but it's another to sign a legal adoption contract with a man like me. That didn't give you any hesitation?
I trust you. Why would I? You've proven yourself.
That makes me happy to hear. Thank you.
Why else would I have backed you to Zarafin?
Did you?
Of course.
I see. Me and Zarafan did not start off on the greatest of terms, and
Understandably. If you had known Zaravin's past, you might understand it.
Well, thank you. That means a lot to me.
Isaac, vibrations from the staff are going to occur when you walked in the room. But up until this point, you didn't know why.
Isaac's going to detect magic and then look around the room.
You will immediately sense why. Rosaith. The bell Juniper has. The one taken from the temple yesterday.
The one that's currently on a little pouch on her belt.
It's reacting to the bell itself?
They are kindred items.
Oh. Okay.
The bell seems to at least be on a harmonious magical wavelength to the staff.
Isaac's going to look from...
Meaning they're both generally questionably moral in their use.
Isaac's he's going to look to his staff, and then he's going to look to a pouch on your side and say, do you sense that?
Do I sense something?
No.
Study the staff intently for a moment, and then study whatever is inside that pouch. Do you feel it?
She will reach into her pocket, pull out what you would recognize as her ultimate magnifier.
Mm-hmm.
The moment you bring attention to the staff, it stops and goes completely silent.
She still hooks on the monocle and then adjusts it a few times, casts Detect Magic at the staff.
The staff is absolutely magical.
Yes, I know that. I know more about the staff than he does, so...
Both of them use necrotic magic.
Mm-hmm.
They both use necromancy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're probably a similar age.
Can they be made by similar age?
Yes.
Rosaith and the staff?
Yes.
Okay, I know for a fact that those heads aren't that old.
Yep.
Oh my god.
So the basis of the staff itself is that old.
Yes.
You see June's eyes widen. I didn't know that before, right?
No, up until your knowledge, the history of the staff began with the Lich Bedmorth.
Fascinating.
But
I had no idea.
nobody knew where Bedmorth came from.
True.
I'm beginning to think you're seeing more than what I saw. I felt an overt connection between whatever's in that pouch and this staff of mine.
I have a feeling those heads are superfluous on that staff.
Isaac's gonna pick it up and then study the staff itself. And
The door flies open. I hear, Walk says as he walks in the room, followed by everybody else.
We'll discuss this later.
Yes.
Try to stop me, Prongor. He says. I'm sorry, Master. The bird is very fast, he says.
Well, it looks like you have a second master, Prongor.
He says, excuse me.
She smiles.
He looks over you like, huh?
Oh, Isaac will be like, oh, Prongor, if you're wanting to know what went on in here, and he's going to hand him the document.
He's going to look it over. I don't understand, Master.
Oh, can he even read that?
Prongor can read.
I don't know.
Probably not complex legal documents.
Yeah.
Isaac's going to be like, well, it's official now. We now own Walks.
That's an awkward way to put that.
He says, who owe me?
No one owns you, Walks.
No, who owe me? I want things.
Walks has gotten into you. Isaac rephrases. He says, we are now officially his guardians.
He goes, we just fight Guardian. Why we get another one?
Parents.
Huh?
We've adopted you, Walks.
Yeah?
Yes.
Like,
Are you
legally?
okay with that?
Yeah. You
I
don't
don't know
belong to the
why-
messengers anymore.
I don't know why I cry. I'm very happy.
Oh, she
Aw.
picks him up and hugs him. He's so cute.
The face you were making there, I thought maybe he was going to be unhappy with
I
the
know, for a
decision.
second there. That's why I was asking.
Prongor is going to... well...
June thinks it's funny.
So does that make Walks your young master now?
Yeah, I believe it does.
I didn't think about that.
That was my very first thought.
Prongor is going to look towards you and say, well then, young Master Walks, it appears as though
He knows the procedure.
you need to get used to being a Crowley, he says.
But
We'll need to teach you noble manners.
you realize, of course, that I am his mother.
He says, well, not everybody gets to choose good parents, he says.
She just laughs.
Oh, man. I'm going to turn Walks into a criminal.
He'd be a great one.
Yeah. No one can catch him.
Don't you dare corrupt this adorable little baby bird.
You're going to see that
Fight you.
as Bali looks down at Walks, you can tell she's not seeing this bird. She looks
Euphemia
over
will
at you.
fiddle with her necklace as she's looking down. She looks happy for them and for Walks, but there is a little bit of like a... something is missing to her.
Well, we can discuss this more afterwards. She smiles down at Walks and looks over at you and glances at Prongor, who is there. And she says, I believe we should continue with what our original purpose was for this meeting.
Am I late? Dom says.
No, please join us.
Good.
Has everybody arrived?
Yes.
Except for Roland, of course. She goes, Roland will not be joining us at this point in time. He is currently back in the Doomridge with Harper and his crew to retrieve Leslie. Apparently they had a run-in with Darklings.
Euphemia will approach Dom and just kind of give him a...
Dom's going to look at the door.
She gestures and the door opens on its own.
Yep, that's pretty normal, Red says as he walks in.
Ah, yes, Red.
He says, so, I'm here.
I'm surprised you're not with Roland and Harper.
I didn't tell Harper I was back.
Ah, yes, and that would explain why Roland had no idea to tell you. Makes sense. Please have a seat.
He says, what are we doing?
Well, actually, she's looking back at him and she's like, well, he's not really necessary here, but, she's not gonna say that.
Did you guys get your letter from the Kings?
We did. We're planning to meet at just after lunch.
Okay.
If you would like to join us for that.
Yeah, I'll hook onto your guys' meeting. Is that what this is about? This whole gather thing?
In a manner of speaking, yes.
Or is this breakfast?
Well, we didn't intend to eat lunch. Breakfast was about 4 hours ago.
Okay.
But do join us.
Sure. He's going to pull up a chair and sit backwards in it.
Euphemia will have gone and sat next to Dom before the meeting began.
It's been a while since we've sat down and discussed events. I thought that now would be a good time to do so.
Dom is going to meet your eyes from across the table, and then he seems to take in sort of a great breath, as though he thinks he knows what to expect from this meeting.
Euphemia just gives one nod, like confirming that he's okay for them to go ahead.
I think, first and foremost, I'm going to open up with what just occurred. With Satan attacking us whilst we were in the Doomridge.
Why did he attack us?
I'm afraid that is my fault, in a manner. Wait, Zarfin's here, right? Okay, just making sure. She goes, Satan and I, as well as Zarfin, of course, have a past.
We heard a little bit.
Yes. Satan is the progenitor of my race. She looks at Red and she goes, I'm sure you probably figured it out, but I am not.
Pixie.
Very, actually.
Wait, what?
Who said that?
Red.
She goes, who said pixie?
Red.
She goes, no, fairy, actually.
What the hell's a fairy?
Pixies are one of the native races to Mythia. They are more feral, less intelligent, and while they do have magic, theirs is more spiritual.
So as you say that, Bolly's gonna like look over at Red like less intelligent as she kind of like, and Red's like,
Fairies, on the other hand, are what I am. We were made by the angels back in the beginning, well before the other races came about.
namely, me, Rathian, and Satan. It was our project to lead.
Euphemia's like got her mouth kind of as she listens.
Back then, we knew there was going to be sentient life that would arise on Mythia over time. And we knew that our forces were not large enough to spread out, and we had a vision.
He was saying that the angels had a plan. June has an expression on her face that clearly states that she thinks that plan was stupid.
Angels have many disadvantages being on Mythia, away from the light, as you can probably see. He says, it was decided that we would make a people similar to ourselves, but that they would be able to subsist off the light of the sun, rather than the light of heaven. So the fairies were crafted. They were supposed to guide the races. But the area that we made for them, the Fey Veil, was penetrated by darkness.
The majority of my race was wiped out that day. So, clearly their plan didn't work. By that point, the Dragonborn had, well, I suppose the Dre at the time, had already been born.
There was an arms race. The dragons took our creation of fairies as a threat to their own domination of Mythia.
Yeah, Kratos was pissed.
So they created their own race, the Dragonborn.
Oh.
Kazor corrupted that thought. Dragonborn were very different in the first age. They were very wise. They were made with the same intentions as the fairies. But Kazor crafted a Dragonborn that were only born to war. The Dre. They had horns. They were significantly larger than the Dragonborn you all know of today. You can see the lineage even today in some Dragonborn. The King of Garen, who is a Dragonborn, has horns. But I can't remember his name right now. The dragons got into an arms race with each other, suddenly, to make their Dragonborn more and more fit for war, corrupting their wisdom and intelligence. There was only power of muscle that mattered, and their ability to wield devastating magics, and to have as many children as possible to fill the skies. They began to burn the world. The Dragon War lasted 5,000 years, and Mythia was torn apart in that time.
June has a complicated expression right now.
And you were there during that war?
Very much so. I had a bit of a difference of opinion with the angels on this front. They wanted to stay out of the Dragon War because
we were still burned. Many of the angels thought that our intervention on behalf of the fairies was a mistake. And during this time, Satan was collecting creatures of darkness. We thought to jail them forever. But after the Dragon War, he would release them on Mythia instead.
After the Dragon War was negotiated to a conclusion,
Zarafen's going to smile at Juniper, even though she doesn't see him.
It was after that that strange things began to happen.
What do you mean?
The darkness that was collected started attacking in places. We thought that it had been cleared up, but dark places began to spawn them. Deep caves, caverns, isolated areas. Faceless men began to appear.
Back in those days, darkness hadn't generated static forms. It only took the corpses of creatures.
The only solid one we had seen was Danblith. Or what would become Danblith, I should say.
Dragons' bodies were taken by darkness, filled the skies. After the war, there was thousands and thousands of their bodies laying across Mythia. They were repurposed to machines of war by Satan, who attacked an early version of Garen, run by the Dragonborn, the Dre, who had enough wits to survive the war. They were a warrior people. The traditions that make Garen up today were built then.
This was also the age where the first stone wolf appeared.
And the Archon.
Ah, yes, the Archon.
Generational powers that pass down. One of Earth, one... I don't even know where he came from. Fate, I suppose.
Well, Satan led the charge against Garen at that time. That was the biggest conflict during that age. The culmination was when he brought the army of darkness to Garen.
That's when we discovered the fate of the walls. To hold even against the most devastating of fights.
And that is why I recognized the events that took place in the Doom Ridge recently, when the skies cracked. It was the same as when Satan attacked the walls and nearly broke the fate of Garen.
Ah. But it held.
Yes, many lives were lost in the making of that.
I've been out into the city a little bit. There's a lot going on. A lot of construction. Our events in Bridgewalk didn't go unnoticed. Garen is building bunkers on top of their ley lines with dragon splitter ballistas.
Good.
The city is packed. There's people clearly from every city that have come for the tournament. A lot of business. If you want to buy something, I think now might be the time. Not all of the tournament goers have arrived yet, but I imagine when they have, the city will be completely full. They're doing a slow roll of the tournament crowds. Okay, he'll explain that they're doing a lot more search checks at the door.
So you both know Satan personally and...
Yes. Why I was so upset with the location you chose actually has to do with that.
Location?
Satan sent me a letter while we were in Bridgewalk. It was during the ball that we attended. Unfortunately, quite a few things happened between then and now, and it never quite came out. Suffice it to say, he was warning me off.
From what?
Apparently exactly what we walked right into.
I believe that Satan thought that the Guardian was intentionally flung into the pits.
He believed that I did it intentionally to foil his plans. Unfortunately, because I did not tell you that, you made the decision, and I do apologize. That is my fault.
He took it as an act of war.
and retaliated in kind. I do apologize. His involvement is more emotional for me than I usually am. So I am sorry.
It seemed like it was emotional for him, too. When I pictured what Satan would be, whatever it is about you, he took it very personally. What does he want?
If we knew that, we would have far less problems.
So why warn you off? What's the point of that?
It must have something to do with the reason that he unleashed the darkness in the first place. During the Dragon War, Satan became more distant from the angels. He would leave heaven more under the guise of capturing more darkness. We saw a future where darkness was not a problem. We didn't even know about the darkness until late into the first age. It just appeared underground, came out and attacked animals mostly. Was an unthreat because there wasn't sentient creatures to attach to.
I began to hear rumors of it from friends who were outside the Veil. And we went to explore.
There were plenty of native creatures. Goblins, trolls,
She looks sad.
nixies, merfolk. The only one that remains are the gnomes and the merfolk now. The other ones were taken by darkness.
Everyone knows now that they're evil, despicable creatures, but they weren't always like that.
The goblin race was totally wiped out. The numbers were so vast in the beginning. They became the Darklings.
That's what a darkling is?
Yes. A creature that no longer exists called a goblin.
I'm sure you've seen the statues and totems throughout the world of these creatures. That's what they used to be.
Satan was withdrawing under the guise of gathering darkness, but it wasn't just that. He was withdrawing because we couldn't understand him any longer. He began to speak words that we couldn't understand or hear.
They caused pain to listen to them. At first it was just an irritating feeling, but eventually it could debilitate you.
If he had done that on the battlefield, we would have dropped immediately.
So why didn't he?
I don't know.
Satan has always been unfathomable. He's brilliant. One of the most intelligent beings in this world. His betrayal was a very heavy blow. She reaches out and takes Zarfin's hand, because he's clearly having a problem right now.
Perhaps the reason that he didn't use it is that he wanted us to get away.
He has often given us chances to escape.
Satan went easy on us. If he had wanted to, he could have brought 50 pit fiends to that fight.
If he wanted, he wouldn't need to. He didn't even enter his true form. His battle form.
As when I enter battle, angels grow larger when they fight. Mazrian grows the largest, the size of a titan. Satan hasn't done that since the first war. But he could. He just doesn't. I believe this has to do with your note. That writing at the end of it.
I agree. He said if I could understand it.
that you would understand him.
Yes. But every time I've tried, all I feel is intense pain, and then I pass out.
Perhaps that writing is the written form of whatever speech he tries to use.
That is my belief, yes.
Some sort of forbidden information. Something that he knows that nobody else does.
He said he found something out early on, or he remembered it, if I remember correctly. I think he remembers something from before. That is my theory.
Where we came from?
Yes. We're doing some esoteric shit here, so...
I know. I think like the crew will all just sitting here just like...
Isaac will pipe up and say, would it be worth letting someone else try and decipher it? I don't think it has to be you.
Does it cause pain to everyone?
Assuming you can even read it, yes.
Out of game, there's a spell that lets you understand all languages.
Comprehend language?
Not that. It's called something else.
Tongues?
Tongues is what I was thinking of. I'm assuming June's tried all the usual.
Yes.
Okay.
Perhaps the rituals that you've undergone, maybe they will give you some manner of resilience against it.
She
Or
will...
perhaps your faded vision, Zarafan suggests. It's possible.
I think I could bring a new perspective, and it's a long shot, but being a tiefling, there is some sort of connection between.
Let's wait until we're done with this meeting, just in case you pass out.
Yes, I would do it in private.
Zarafan is going to continue.
She's just like, let's just wait, get things done first, and then you can go pass out.
Before heaven was made, before the continents were formed, the world dragons and the 7 archangels, me included, we came from somewhere else. There was a vast nothingness, an empty space that went on forever, larger than the largest ocean. We don't know how long we traveled in it. We flew, it seemed forever. I can hardly remember it. Just infinite space.
It sounds lonely.
We lost whole lifetimes in there. Whole generations vanished without a single change. It was a dark time. I don't know why we ran. I don't know why we came. Only that we were going somewhere, fleeing. We found Mythia. When we arrived, it became our new home. We were cooperating then, at the very beginning. The dragons claimed the earth. We claimed the sky. We promised to stay out of each other's way. That didn't last very long. But if Satan remembered something from before, why we left, why we fled, maybe it's driven him mad. Maybe that's why he attacked. I've thought of it so many times, but I can't remember anything.
She glances down at your pouch.
I didn't know you guys came from like a different place. That's crazy.
Is that what Euphemia says?
No, that's out of game.
June will look down at the pouch at Yuffie's waist. We need to tell him about that. It's very important. And him and, the rest. During that last fight, Euphemia made a bit of a Discovery.
A discovery? What discovery did you make, Captain? Johnny says towards you.
I may have actually been as much a blunder as a discovery, she says, looking at June.
June was trying to be polite.
Right, Euphemia, you mess up, Walk says.
I messed up big time.
Big time? Even more than Isaac?
You couldn't control yourself at that time, considering what was going on.
Well, I had control when I first... During the fight, Satan appeared next to June and I. And seemed to realize I was going to aid her. And he turned to strike. And I had a moment where I reached in to Satan. I didn't see a lot of things I could understand. It was mostly empty and frozen, except something in the distance that I couldn't make out. However...
To reach into Satan.
It gets worse.
Zarfan cringes.
I think reaching in Satan... I think that's what killed me. But as I died, I pulled out something from him. And I accidentally embedded it in my armor.
She took his guilt.
Zarafan's face is going to eyes wide, like, oh god, no.
Yes, that's the same expression that June had.
Everyone else sort of looks confused. How does Isaac look?
Isaac's thinking, I wonder if she could take mine.
Yeah, and turn you into a monster.
Oh, thank you.
It's never good when she does this stuff.
No, Isaac, his eyes widen a little bit, but mostly just because he's impressed that you stole something straight out of Satan's chest.
She actually has more to add, so yeah.
So that's how he's feeling right now.
It's in my pouch. It seems to have formed into some sort of
Artifact?
monstrous artifact.
I strongly suggest we don't take it out at the moment. It has some rather
Unfortunate side
strong
effects.
effects. It
Like
allows you to
what?
see your most painful regret or memory.
It's not just that it lets you see it, it seems like it traps you in it.
It makes you experience it again like the first time.
I remember when I was looking at it, not only did I get stuck in that first feeling, but it's like the things that would have made me happy, those memories, they didn't impact me anymore. It just, all I was guilt.
That suck.
Yes, it does.
So,
That sounds like the worst thing ever, Johnny says.
the item may have some advantages in battle.
But there are quite a few disadvantages as well.
Do you explain them?
Yes.
Yes.
We could probably bounce each other off and...
Yeah.
Okay.
We word vomit them.
Easy. You don't need this.
Well, an impressive tool. I think one perhaps that we only use in very specific circumstances.
I agree.
I'm more concerned about the ramifications of this thing having been inside him and now no longer existing within him. Clearly he didn't want it back, and what if that guilt was...
What was holding him back?
Yes.
Yes, that was my thought originally as well.
I don't think anybody but Satan knows how this would affect him. All we can do now is hope that it doesn't affect him too much. I don't think we have a solution to... Your fate doesn't allow a return, right?
I wish it did, but no.
term was dangerous to use in June's presence, isn't it?
No, that's not what I was thinking about, actually. Anyway. Just a thought.
I don't think I mentioned this to you yet, June, but while I was dead, I was approached by
The Grim Reaper.
the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper, who had a bargain for me?
You made a bargain with...
Who would ever do that?
Shut up, Zarafin.
He looks like he couldn't quite help it.
Euphemia's gonna look at her like, wait, you too?
Zarafin is... Not Zarafin, sorry. What's her name? Zosar. Zosar is a conniving bitch.
Well, I didn't have really that much of a choice because either I agreed to the bargain, was returned to life and gave them what they wanted, or they took me then and there. I wasn't going to be able to return to help.
I'm not rebuking you.
Wait, you mean you went this whole morning without telling me this? Bali says, looking at you, betrayed.
You know, it's a longer term goal.
So what was the bargain, please?
She was interested in the fact that I had been able to steal something from Satan. I think all of the presence of immortals seems to irk her. And the price was that within the year, I need to return an immortal. Well, I need to kill one.
That's a very difficult task.
Yes, it is.
Well,
Isaac's kind of like backing up.
Well, considering
She
there
looks
are
at him
three in
like-
the room, yeah. We're all just kind of like,
He scoots his chair back just a little.
well,
Pronto sort of leans in like, ooh, interesting.
I was hoping maybe there might be an immortal we come across fighting Satan's hand that we could get rid of.
You
How
see a vaguely dreamy look pass on June's face really quick, and then it flits away.
But the worst... My thinking was, worst comes to worse. At least I got a year.
We'll figure something out.
Beyond this room, how many immortals do we know exist?
How many do I know?
One.
She,
Well, every angel, by technicality.
she goes,
And many devils.
outside the angels, there are plenty of devils who are, and, well, Danblith. Which I fully support in taking his soul, but
That...
I have been trying to do that for a very long time.
If Etu is still alive, Zarfin says.
I'm not okay with killing an innocent immortal.
Well, obviously the best outcome would be one of the immortal devils.
Agreed.
But I sort of think that she means mortal souls that are supposed to die. Maybe you could get away with a little bit of manipulation on your end? I don't know.
Well, if we fail, in 2 years, none of this would matter anyway.
But we won't fail. So it does matter, and we will work it out. There are no rooms for doubts.
You're right. Speaking of Satan's hand, I think we do have a few other things to discuss. She looks to Dom.
Raises an eyebrow as the glance goes across.
Dom is going to... Yes. Euphemia knows what I am about to tell you, but not just her. He's going to look over
It's 20 minutes
Isaac.
after.
as Dom gets ready to reveal some important information about himself. We will go ahead and call the session there for the time being and check it out next time, Noble Heroes. Thank you for coming to join us. We really appreciate it. Please make sure to give us a like and a subscribe. And Do, noble heroes, give this a try at home. Thank you.
I was like, no.